Alright guys, we are back with some more MX versus ATV Legends. Today we have a pretty big update to show you. This should be out live for you to download on Tuesday, same day that you're probably seeing the video. Then we have Redbud for Wednesday, which you should have access to it on Thursday. And so just a bunch of stuff for MX versus ATV Legends this week. It has customization. You can kind of see some of it here with the bike. It has some major track changes to some of the replicas. It has physics changes, good physics changes, and tear-off animations have been added, and they changed the online playlist to some degree. So more stuff. Again, I don't have the patch notes sitting right next to me, but this is kind of some of the main stuff that was or is going to be in this update. So really good stuff. Really awesome. Let's jump into it and check it out. Okay, so first up, I want to show you the customization that is in this update. This time it's just for the bike, so we go to the garage, check out the handlebars. We have customizable rental handlebars. We had customizable pro taper bars, but now we can customize the rental bars. We have graphics kits from Backyard Design for the CRF, but the cool thing is, and I do show you, their graphics kits are individually designed for each bike. It isn't a generic graphics kit that looks the same for every bike. They're individually designed, and then some of them have a black or white version. So the Husky, the Yamaha, just some examples. So it's actually pretty cool. I thought it was going to be the same for every bike, but it isn't. So good customization added for the bike. Now let's jump into the track changes, which were the second most important thing, to me at least, in the update. So the replicas have released, and they've been very, very similar to the 2022 version of themselves to some degree. I mean, some tracks less, but some more, right? So Thunder Valley, for example, was very similar, if not almost the exact same track from the year before, and they've changed it. You can already see we have track changes here where they tried to make it more authentic to the real-life track. More changes to come up. I don't know, I mean, the sections of the track that had to be changed for sure, but I don't know if they did, rut work, corner work, where they adjusted on that stuff, but they for sure got the track much more accurate to the way it was in real life. I remember watching, I believe it was Hangtown. That was the first track where I felt like, okay, this track, this isn't really the way it should be, right? But Thunder Valley got some really good changes here, good adjustments, and Hangtown also got the good changes too. But what other tracks do we have? High Point, few other tracks. They haven't done all of them, and they did say, and I do want to let you know that they did it with 2022. They plan on updating the tracks to the 2023 layout eventually, but the problem is the best they can do is make the track off of a layout, a track map, basically, right? And then any changes they might do to the track the week of the race, a couple days before the race, it's like Supercross. Just because it's one way in a layout doesn't mean it won't change a couple days before. They might change a corner, whatever. Well, MX vs. ATV plans on eventually getting all the tracks the way they should be, but it might take some time. So be patient with them. They plan on doing it. They're doing the best they can. I mean, it's completely out of their control, and they will for sure eventually get to where they should be. It's unfortunate that they can't be that way right away, but again, it isn't their fault. They're doing the best they can, I mean, with what they have to work with. But here we have Hangtown, and this was a part of the track that I felt like definitely needed to be changed. Before it was just kind of a straightaway with a double into a corner. Now we have the double, double, double. And then at the end, the track is more the way it was the year before for, I believe it was 2022, but it has been reworked to some degree, right? The way you hit that jump, they kind of took a little bit off the top of it, so it doesn't send you quite so high in the air, and it feels a bit more realistic. And then they kind of reworked some of the corners at the very end too. So the changes to Hangtown. Why do I keep saying High Point? Hangtown. High Point's on my mind. the changes to Hangtown are really, really good. I feel like the changes to Hangtown are actually maybe a little bit better than the ones that were done to Thunder Valley, but both of them are really good. But this is the jump I was talking about. You jump and then you hit the triple step up double. That feels better in this version. And then most of the track is the same, minus the next corner coming up. They did build up the inside quite a bit, so you have multiple lines to choose from, but track changes really good, and we have more track changes to look forward to in the future to get the replicas to the place they need to be, so they're more accurate to the 2023 versions of themselves. Next up, we have physics, and this is the part of the update or updates that I'm usually most interested in, because physics are the most important part to a lot of games, but for sure, dirt bike games, right? Motocross games, physics aren't good, the game, it can completely ruin a game. Well, the physics have been changed. This is something I wasn't too aware of. I mean, I was aware of it, but I guess I didn't think about it very much, and I didn't play enough to really realize how different they were, but the newest physics update really kind of ruined the physics to some degree in this game. And you guys were really quick to point out that the whips and just the way the bike felt, it wasn't right. They needed to do something. The physics that was not the right change, right? Well, for this update, they reverted the physics back to the way they were before the last physics update. Does that make sense? That's what they did, and that was the best play. That was the best move, and Rainbow Studios has been very vocal about it, and they've been doing it. They're very driven by the community feedback, so they took what you guys were saying and reverted it. It doesn't mean that they won't, adjust on the physics again eventually or change them in a different way, but for now, the physics are a lot better. And again, it was just something I didn't really realize. The whips felt really weird, and it felt really difficult to whip in the game with the physics patch before this one. And they changed it back to where it was, so now you can start throwing scrubs and whips much earlier off of jumps, and I just feel like the rotation is a lot better too. Now, I'm not really sure if that affects the crashing. I know some people were mentioning that it was way too easy to crash. I mean, sometimes we don't even... I mean, if you case or way flat land a jump, you're probably still going to crash, but before, the way it was, it felt like you crashed really, really easy. Even if you were landing pretty decent and not in a bad way, it felt like you could go down or get the weird animation that would put you down on the ground. So, I don't know. I didn't really have that happen to me, so I don't know if that is part of the physics update as well, or if just the way the bike feels has been changed back to the way it was. So yeah, really good change. Curious to see what they do in the future, but I mean, I'm happy with where the physics are at the moment, especially for whipping and scrubbing. And yeah, so keep letting them know how you feel about it. Keep talking to them on social media, and eventually they'll try to listen to you and get that community feedback driven side of the game going. But yeah, so here at the very end, I just kind of want to have some final wrap up thoughts, and I did mention it, but I know people kind of skip through videos and might not hear everything that's going on. But the main thing I want to show you or talk about is that the replica tracks probably won't be 100% accurate the day they release, okay? So it might take a few weeks, maybe a month, or maybe longer to get some of these changes done to the 2023 replica tracks. But don't worry, they have said, this is what they say, they have said that they do plan on getting the tracks to where they should be, to the 2023 layout, so it doesn't feel like, I mean, because well, not right now, but before it kind of felt like if you bought the 2023 track pass, you basically had the 2022 track pass as well. Pro replica track pass, not the extra stuff they plan on talking about. I know they mentioned that another Pro Rider compound is going to be coming out, and throwback tracks are going to be releasing as well. So not the track pass, but the Pro National track pass. It feels like if you bought one, you don't really need to buy the other one because the tracks were the same, like exactly the same. but that isn't the case. They are going to adjust them, but it might not be right away, okay? So I just want you to be aware of it. That's what they've said, and you have that to look forward to. The physics, reverting the physics back to where they were was the best play. It's where they should be for right now, unless they can make an adjustment or an update that improves upon that. Good changes, good patch. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. But you guys, girls, are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.